Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is Obi-Wan Pez for Simplex Pachinko. Tonight, as opposed to last night, we're going to be doing some Elite Dangerous. We're trying to get Community Gold done, which is to bring a whole bunch of goods to Dikamina Station in Lushertha. Currently, we are in the system Karnoek, which is approximately 40 some odd light years away. So this is going to be 48 light years away. Our jump range is currently fairly reduced due to the quite large cargo haul that we're taking in. So let's see. I'm not sure that it's actually here. No. We can look it up real quick. So, hope everybody's having a good night. We're hanging around, and here we go. 1604. So, yep. So we can jump a maximum of 16 light years plus a tiny little bit. And so with current cargo, that's going to end up taking us 4 jumps to get back to Lushertha. We're going to be going through Yin Sector here, which is an anarchic system, corporate system here, and another corporate system here. So the biggest concern is going to be probably either getting jumped in the anarchy system, not terribly likely, or more likely, once we get back to Lushertha, we're going to have to get ourselves back to the station. And getting back to the station proper is going to leave us exposed. We're also doing this shieldless, so I'm going to really try my absolute best not to get caught. And just to make sure that I'm not completely yelling into the void here, we'll just make sure, yep, okay, we're good. Alright. Got our system all set up. We've got a very large ship, so if that guy hits me, I swear. I have actually been tagged a criminal because somebody else hit me before. It was great. However, if you were doing over 100 meters per second, you are automatically at fault. I mean, it's kind of like driving in the United States. If you're the one who's speeding, you're pretty much automatically at fault no matter what happens. Our maximum speed is 241 meters per second. Not terribly good. My other ship can do that just without anything, without afterburners. So yeah, hope everybody's having a good weekend. Family spent most of that time apart. Our son had a party in nearby town. So, haven't been here before. Honk the system. Hold up. And let's just real quick take a little look. 38. Alright, we got 38% of the system surveyed. This is really not a good position for me, but nonetheless, as long as we don't see in the chat window at the top left, aha, there's the hull I want, or something to that effect, we'll probably be alright. for the most part. Usually. Alright, how many? 6 of 19, that's not terrible. Oftentimes these go quick. Yep, just more advertisements. Luxury cruise liner. Okay. One behind the sun. Gonna have to deal with that. Oh, there we go. That's the guy. We're out.
Frameshift drive charging.
Big haul like that. Surprised you made it this far. Every single time, man. And we're good. Pretty much as long as the countdown starts, nobody's gonna have an issue. We're going up. Haven't been here either. Cool. Man. Wow. Okay. God, there's some good ones right next to each other. Look at those real quick. Typically, if it has a circle around it, it means there's multiple in that particular thing, or you're going to have to go in multiple layers in order to target it properly. If it's just a solid by itself, usually you're fine, like you'll be able to see it immediately. Doesn't always work that way, but oftentimes. So basically we're spending a little bit of time just searching the EM spectrum for all of the particular signals that we're seeing. And then when we see it, we just highlight it, and then it gets logged in our star journal as far as what we've been seeing, what kind of planetary bodies there are. So sometimes it's planets, sometimes it's moons, but either way, it's basically just a astral survey. Here we go.
Frameshift drive charging.
That might have been a mistake. We're alright. This is fine. Yeah, we're good. Didn't even make 100%. No worries. We managed to cut down the amount of random stuff that is currently in in this room, if only slightly. Hey. Lushertha.
Frameshift drive charging.
Okay. Dekamina Station. 300 light seconds away. Now the thing is that, like, nobody... none of the NPCs are, like, mission specific. So, unlike some of the other, like, hauling missions or various other things that we do in Elite Dangerous, where, like, because you have signed on to a specific mission, this person is actively hunting you, this is just not the case. So, for this particular one... There we go. Yeah. For this particular one, the NPCs are just dinks. These are random guys who have been spawned because we have a decent haul. And, alright, keep her in the blue. And we are 80 light seconds away. 60. Slow down some. There we go. Again, as usual, we want to keep this close to 7 seconds ETA, and that's going to be our, like, optimal approach vector. Now, some of these NPCs, they're not... I don't believe they're spawned because I am carrying valuable cargo. I believe they are just spawned in the system, but they may take an interest in me because I have valuable cargo. At least I think that's the way it works. Could very well be incorrect. Alright, in addition... Convoy dispersal. Alright. We do just want to check some stuff every so often. Okay. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It's fine. Now, an NPC may also spawn in suddenly and be like, ah, I've got you now, but we're also within within weapons range of the station, so they're not going to mess with me. Right, we're just gonna keep hitting. There he is. Michael, Mary, friends. Now you die, victim. That's him. Right there. Imperial Clipper. So that would have done us some serious damage. Okay. So we're gonna go here. Comms panel. Request docking. Oscar Bravo India for pad 40, roger. I don't actually need to do that. But it is still fun.
3,000 meters from touchdown.
Jeez. Nope, in the back. Sometimes you can't actually tell where everything is. Gear down.
Landing gear deployed.
So currently I do have 36,000 credits worth of space to fill uh, what are those? Missile racks, but like I don't use them, so it's kind of pointless. So I'm gonna actually go in here and take them out because it's just adding to weight, and that extra weight can be better used for thrust. Um, it's just not going to do us any good, honestly. We'll just store the modules, because we're going to use them eventually, I'm sure, on some ship somewhere. I don't even know where that is on the ship. It's got to be the sides, right? Alright, so that's going to save on a bunch of weight and potentially some extra power. Yep, our current jump range is now 16.16 light years. Woo! Frame shift drive, here we go. We want to figure out if we can replace this with a 6A SCO. Oh, yes. So with it being unengineered, it's going to be a little bit of a problem. But increased FSD jump range, this one could get us to 1772. And eventually we can get a 6 with a SCO incompatible slot, right? Because that's only class 6. So let's get this sent over from storage. It's going to take 33 minutes. We can do a few more runs. We can also put this on here for 18 million. Woo! Right, and then we'll trade back the place module again with the 6A that's already here. Right, 30% increase in mass. Optimized mass is 27. What are my ship specs? No, there we go. Total mass 2980. It's not the best. But that's instead of, oh. If I change to this one, it's 2105. If I leave it, or whatever, it's going to be like 2000 something. 2105. Okay. Thrusters optimized. Optimal mass 1987. So if we could find a way to cut down some mass, that'd be pretty good, but it'd have to be like 200 tons. Get rid of the military grade composite. Yay. Lightweight alloys would drop our hull to 1925. You know what? We'll spend that 9 minutes doing something else. So, all right, commodities market. If we sell here, again, we had purchased reactive armor. You'll notice that the demand in this column is 999,999. It's basically infinite. Even though bio-waste actually says, 12 million, they're just indicating here that these are like the things we need for this particular event, and they will also drop back down once the event is over. So non-lethal weapons, reactive armor, and basic medicines are the three things that this station needs. Currently, you know what? If we compare search market, we were just in what system? Carnoic. Okay. Bacon City. There we go. Right, so if we buy at Bacon City, we just saw these prices. So basic medicines will net 3,700 per unit. Non-lethal weapons 14,040 per unit, and reactive armor 15,500 per unit. So yeah, we're going to try to get reactive armor as much as possible. We just made back pretty much, pretty much entirely made back what we spent on that FSD. So, or like 2/3 of it anyway. Well, that's pretty nice. Alright, we got nothing left, so we'll reset. Do the exact same thing in return. We can jump straight to Gandala, which I believe we didn't actually finish our scan. Or maybe that was the other one. Why isn't this working? Oh, there we go. Or it was LHS. I thought it was Gandala. Anyway. So we will do one more run real quick and get that stuff, and then by that point our lightweight armor should be back, in which case we'll have better optimized mass for stuff.
Ship release. Go for departure.
Landing gear retracted.
Oscar Bravo India, departure vector. Have a good day.
Hull integrity compromised. Taking damage.
Jesus, guys.
Warning. Dangerous flying will not be tolerated.
It wasn't my fault. I was flying on my side of the greens. Alright, so we gotta get out of mass lock.
Reports of heavy traffic within the area. Maintain safe
Oh.
clearance distance.
Yeah, hey Snowbound. Yeah, I apparently hit the mail slot on the right side and also clipped the guy on my left. Because I was only doing 71 meters per second, we're all good. That's totally fine. Don't worry about it.
Fuel zapping.
So we'll pull up here and just do a quick double check on, yeah, 100%. Alright, dropping into the 50s on thermal, so we'll initiate. No, this one's just a Type 9. So the Type 10 um, doesn't have as much cargo space. It's much more mostly flown for Defender. Like that's its nickname is the Type 10 Defender. So it generally speaking is used for combat. Now, it can be used for pretty much anything you want, but you know, if you're out flying an asteroid belt and you just want some protection, if you're flying a Type 9, you have no protection. If apart from a couple little mining area lasers you can put on there. I had this thing loaded up with missile racks about 10 minutes ago. Oops. There we go. But we can take out the missile racks and it lowers our mass, and so we get a slightly more optimized flight path for everything. Alright, kick up and around. Yeah. You're flying at the planet. Are you sure you want to do that? So there's an impact warning at the top. Ooh. Oops. Ooh. It's terrible. And I don't even have the good probes anymore. Those are all on my other ship. Oh. Hey, we got it. Let's go over here. And over here. And we'll wait for those. So that'll be 6. For anybody who doesn't know this minigame, you're trying to scan the planet in as few probes as possible to a 90% efficiency, or to a 90% rate, at which point you get rewarded for making it within efficiency. So you see at the right-hand side down there, efficiency target 6 probes, 7 probes, 6 impacted. We're going for number 7 here, is impacting just now, and yeah, we got that. Woo! Alright, then we pull this around. We got 3 geologicals on that planet, so it'll be good to get down to the planet if we want some expedition bonus, exploration bonus. Oscar Bravo India requesting vector for docking.
Landing authorized. You are clear for approach to pad 2-4.
Pad 2-4, roger. That's upside down from where we are. Cool.
Landing gear deployed.
Operates under a docking position policy. Ensure you have authorized for attempt 4 ascent mark.
Hull integrity compromised.
Every time.
Touchdown. Engines disengaged.
Now that is because we have Um, oh my god, why am I blanking? Alright, we're doing Karnalek 2. Is it worth it to show up to the graduation ceremony? So, Blainland, I would say if you feel like your hard work has paid off in such a way that you are like, hey, I deserve some sort of recognition for this, or it would make me feel good if I had some recognition for this, or if you have any friends or family who might be able to watch it, either live or live stream, it's a good option. So if you have people who would be interested in viewing it, then yeah, go for it. Yeah, you definitely still get the degree if you don't show up. That's what they hand you. What they actually hand you at graduation is not your diploma. It is not your degree. It's actually just a sheet of paper that's like, hey, it's coming. So, yeah. Yeah, if you have no money to spend on the cap and gown, then, you know, it is certainly an option to say, I'm not going to bother. All right, Lushertha. Decamina. There we go. Okay, so just to check, just to make sure we didn't get yesterday's prices, we're going to just hop back in here to make sure. So the target ones are going to be basic medicines at 3,700 credits per unit profit. Non-lethal weapons at 14,040 credits per unit, and reactive armor at 15,500 credits per unit. So clearly, we're going to go for the reactive armor. Now, the other thing about this is that there's only, now that we've purchased, there's only 3,775 units left. So we are going to run out within a few trips. And that's perfectly fine because, there's other stuff here. Again, the non-lethal weapons, there are 87,000 units left. So, like, it's going to take us a while to drain that. We are currently sitting at a cargo capacity of 772 tons. So it's going to be like 5 trips to get rid of the reactive armor. Five round trips to get rid of it. And then non-lethal weapons will take us to the end of the event, because I'm not going to do that much work doing it. I have found that it is really easy to actually win at the this thing, the hauling aspect of this part of the game, because nobody else really wants to do it. It is, maybe a little tricky in terms of, like, you might get jumped if you're running a Type 9 like this, which has literally no shields, and is just planning on jumping out, like, as soon as we get into a system. Like, yeah, I'm not going to fight. I can mostly get away from pirates, so it's not a big deal. But at the same time, like, some people might not be into that. Some people might just want to go fight the pirates. In fact, pretty much everybody just wants to go fight the pirates. You can see in the mission board and the community goals, right here we have repel pirates. There are 2,141 contributors with 4 days left. They have killed 57 billion credits worth of pirate bounties and turned them into the Decamina station. Whereas here, all of the people who have hauled to Decamina have hauled 6.8 million units, and there's only 12, just shy of 1,200 people doing it. Right now, we have we all, as a group, need to make tier 1 before anybody gets any sort of bonus at all. So, as soon as we all reach tier 1, and we got like 5 days still, then everybody, again, top 100%, will get some sort of first tier reward, and then top 75% get a bonus, top 50% get a bonus, top 25, top 10% get a bonus, and then the top 10 commanders at all get an S tier rank, and they get high level bonus. So if we look at the Repel Pirates, right, I have handed in not a huge amount, yeah, here we go, 2.5 million credits worth of bounties out of that 57 billion. I am in the top 100% of pirates. So that is 1,200 or 1.2 million credits, and then also whatever global rewards we win. So we're currently at tier 3 as a group, and so whatever the tier 3 group reward is, that goes to everybody. And then currently the top 10 commanders are going to receive 18 million credits, which honestly is just like a drop in the bucket. I don't think anybody even needs credits at this point if you've been playing Elite Dangerous for more than like a year. Here we go. So the top 50% of contributors will get a duty counter paint job for the Federal gunship. 25% will get duty counter paint job for Federal Corvette and Federal gunship. And that appears to be it. I imagine that the top 10 commanders might get something as a bonus, but apart from credits. But it doesn't even look like it. Providing aid? Yeah, same deal. So, deliver non-lethal weapons, reactive armor, and basic medicine to Kamina Station. So they don't actually give you like an information as far as where you need to go to get it. Like you just go source it and bring it in. It doesn't matter where you go. I was thinking my spouse was going to come in and say goodnight, but I don't think she's coming upstairs yet. So. Okay, so we're going to launch. Gear up. Oscar Bravo India, roger. Have a good day, everybody. See you in 10 minutes. Nope. Right. Forgot to set vector. Lushertha inside system. Jump to dig Kamina. Stay away from me. Alright, how we doing?
Fuel scooping.
67,
Fuel
right.
scoop
This was the other system that we hadn't fully scanned yet. So we can grab a couple more at least while we're waiting. By that, I mean waiting for somebody to try and jump us. Alright, still safety reefing announcement. There's that one. Awesome. Yep, and that one. So we have all these planets and moons, which are scannable. And we're trying to, as quickly as possible, scan them within the system before somebody shows up and is like, hey, I'm going to jump your ship, because they always warn you ahead of time. It's great. These are NPCs, of course. The PCs never warn you.
System scan
There we go.
complete.
We're out.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, still just more random announcements. Don't have people. Don't have any NPCs trying to target us. Yet. But hey, Braylon, I don't think I saw you announce this, so congratulations on making graduation. Getting your degree. Completing requirements and all that. I know it hasn't been an easy road, but just to let you know, I'm proud of you. Good job.
Fuel soup disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, whatever small help I might have rendered along the way, you know, you're. I hope that it has been a overall positive experience.
3, 2,
All right, we're trying to get to the opposite corner of the sun here, so we'll just go around. 294 units per second is the maximum we can get out of this. Okay, and we're in what system? Yin sector CLY. I think we made 100% last time we looked at this. Yep. Cool.
frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two,
come at this from a slightly different angle here. Alright, so as we can see here, the space between the planet and Diakomina Station is widening out because we were trying to go to the opposite side of the planet. So now that we're coming on to the same side of the planet as Diakomina, we can see it's moving faster and it's starting to close that gap. Give or take. Alright, turn her around.
Lakon Oscar Bravo India. Submit a docking request and a landing pad will be reserved for you, Commander.
Oscar Bravo India to tower, request docking.
Okay, Commander. Proceed to landing pad 3-2.
At some point, I'd like to actually hook up my voice and make it voice command so that I don't actually have to even touch buttons. I know several other streamers have actually done that.
This is a speed-restricted zone. Throttle
Yeah.
down immediately.
We'll get it.
Regulate your speed and maintain current vector.
Hull integrity compromised.
Bonk. Gear down. Voice attack. That was what it was. Malik was using.
Landing gear
Alright, so we just got a loitering warning for sitting above the
Clear the area, Commander.
pad
This is a no-loiter
31, I think.
taking damage.
Hey, liar.
Landing completed. Deploying ground
So
crew.
because we're running shieldless, we end up taking damage every time that we touch literally anything, which also means the landing pad. Um, oh well. Alright, commodities. Sell. Sell reactive armor, all of it for 11.969 million. Alright, so also the profit has gone down ever so slightly. So, which is... I think maybe the price has gone up at our buy station because I don't think it's gone down at our sell station. 17,792. Nah. Okay, Karnoik says that it is purchasing at... No, I'm doing basic medicines. Alright, reactive armor. Lushertha. Large. And by distance. Nope, not maximum distance. Nope, sorry, by supply. There we go. Serious? Oh man. It's not even on the list? That's weird. Alright, now you're just lying. Alright, what's the... Really? Order by best supply demand. Sort. There we go. Alright. Now it's lying slightly less. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, 20,000, 16,000. Okay. You're not even on the list again. That's ridiculous. Alright. Last update. We were at 7,000, give or take. It's just not even coming up on my list. That's so weird. Am I spelling it wrong? No. Okay, I'm just getting gaslit by Inara. This is great. Near star system. Let's change that. Karnoak. Search. Order by... No! Don't do that. Order by distance. Search. Yeah, Bacon City. There we go. Supply 311. Alright, that's also a lie. But anyway. The price is between 1,700 and 2,200. So, okay. That makes sense. We've got a couple of places. There is a... Allegedly, right? If we order this by distance from the star, so that we have to do the least amount of time, like, trying to get there. Oh, by the way, right, we now have at least one object waiting for us here. We can trade out our armor, I think, which will get us a... There's a raiding party. My goodness. I wasn't even paying attention. Apologies, everybody. Rogan! Hey, Rogues Raid. How's it going, everybody? My name is Obi-Wan Pez. This is N-Simplex Pachinko, and we are doing some Elite Dangerous tonight. Right now, we just got word that our lighter, lightweight alloys. Yeah, is going to allow us to improve our jump range for this particular ship, as well as some other stats and pitch and roll and all that good stuff. Shadows of Life, good evening. We also have a frame shift drive, which is going to be... Yes. Okay. So we do have this alternate one here, which is also going to improve our jump range and all this other stuff. It's just going to speed up our particular movements within the system. It is somewhat crunchy. So right now what we're actually doing is we're trying to complete a community goal, or at least improve as best we can our current situation. So this particular system, which is the Lushertha system, I can show you where that is precisely. So Lushertha is here. It is this particular star, and anybody who knows anything about our galaxy, right, this is a tiny, tiny little slice of what you can actually see in the Milky Way. So we have here Eta Cassiopeiae. So those of you who know your constellations, that's in the constellation Cassiopeia, and over here V38b Cassiopeia. And if we zoom out, we see Sol over here. So home system. If we were to actually like zoom in and try and find like all the individual star systems that are in these particular constellations, you could actually see them on the sky. So it'd be really cool. Right now we're in a very zoomed in mode, so we can only see a certain number of stars. But, yeah, here's Alpha Centauri. And if we zoom out, and out, and out, and out, every single one of these stars that you see here is potentially visitable, with very few exceptions. So we have here a system that is called Colonia. People have actually like jumped along the Orion belt, or along the Orion arm. I think it's the Orion arm, to somewhere over here where there's more stars, and then jumped into here, where we have here a system called Tyr, which is 22,000 light years in. And they had to go probably like the long way around, so like 25,000, 28,000 light years. If we zoom into this area, you'll notice that there are also a metric crap ton more stars as we get toward the center of the galaxy. So again, all of these stars are potentially visitable with very few exceptions. There are also, let's see, that's a blue-white star. There are also different types of stars. So if we zoom in on different ones, we see star class here. All of the ones that conform with, I don't remember exactly what the secondary acronym is, but KGB foam is all of the stars that are ads. Are all of the stars that are visitable. Sorry, no, that are scoopable. So you can turn their stellar matter into fuel. So it's pretty awesome. I should have realized ads were coming. In addition, we also have recently and by recently I mean like within the past few months, there have been a number of incursions by a race called the Thargoids, who are a very strange, unknown alien race, who we think are basically telling us, shut up. Stop trying to do stuff in the galaxy. You're going to wake them. So we think that that's what the basic story is. And if we awaken them, which I believe there's another streamer by the name of Malik VR, and I'll let me. No, that'll be fine. Let's see. Shout out over here. Yeah. So Malik has been doing a bunch of speculation on what's probably going to be the story that we're getting up to, and like his want for this story is that that's the way it's going to go. Is that the race known as the Guardians, who were the race that like knocked the Thargoids down 10,000 years ago or something like that, are basically not the good guys, and we've been using their technology to beat the Thargoids back. But like the Thargoids basically never attacked humans. They just kind of defended themselves. And like if you stole stuff from their sites, they got upset about it and would try to get it back from you, whether that be just by like sitting there for a second until you drop it, or by then attacking you. And like there were human settlements that were attacked, but the human settlements were like harvesting their resources and stuff like that. So eventually, Malik believes that the Thargoids are just another alien race. Again, telling us to be quiet, but there's some speculation as far as like I don't think that they see us. They just see like that they are like ants in a way, not necessarily like a hive mind, but like as soon as multiple of them come in contact with each other, they start like communicating and coordinating at a faster rate. And so like their brains are wired completely differently. So like if we end up destroying one of them, it's not like a big deal. But if they destroy one of us, it's kind of a big deal because we're individuals, we're humans. So we think that Malik thinks, but I agree, that they're just not wired in the same way that we are. And so don't realize that they're hurting an individual and all that cool stuff. All right, we have also just moved up to the top 75% of pilots in the groups that have been doing the hauling by doing a second run. So my ship is very large. It holds 772 tons of cargo. Most hold like less than 100. So we've done a good job here of making sure that we get try to maximize the amount of stuff we get out of our ship. So we are at the drop-off station. We're going to go back to our loading station. Get another 772 tons worth of cargo, and then bring it on back here. We have a Logitech X52 HOTAS setup. So this is throttle on my left hand, stick on my right. Many of the people who run Elite Dangerous a little more seriously will do a dual stick setup. So Rain Man Games, Psyche, I think Malik and various other people will run dual stick. And I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it seems really cool. I'm probably not going to do it, because that seems like a lot of work. And a lot of money. Okay. We need to get out of mass lock range. There it is. Activate the frame shift drive, and we'll be on our way. Oh, actually, nah, it's fine. We'll do it next time. So, Rogan, I hope you've had a good evening. If you need to run off, feel free. Nope. That was not what I meant. Rogar 27 apparently is a person. I'll get that. Hang on. How did that happen? There we go. Ultima, yep. Right, it's Saturday night. Oh yeah, no worries. Have a good D&D game, and we'll check you back out on what's your next thing? Oh, right, you're doing your. Is that in person or is that streamed? I didn't target this. Didn't target the actual thingy. Next Monday, return for Monkey Island. Yep, awesome. So anybody who is interested, Rogan27 does variety streaming, and also on Wednesday, I believe, does a archival stream and looks at documents that are in the University Library at Virginia Tech. So highly recommended. Let me know if I got any of that wrong. Woo! So yeah, check their stream out, and anybody who's interested in that kind of stuff, I really like looking into history behind stuff, so that's kind of right up my alley as well. Okay, so with coming into a particular station, or pretty much anything, what we want to do is aim for a 7-second ETA. That's the number that's more or less holding steady. Oddly enough, right, it should be clicking down, but no, it's not actually what you want. Once we get within 1,000 kilometers, we get a notification that it's on the other side. Once you get within 1,000 kilometers, we're able to jump out, and then it hops into about 10 kilometers or slightly closer to within the station boundary. Oscar Bravo India requesting vector.
Landing permission granted. Cleared to land on pad 39er.
And for anybody from Rogan's stream, no, I don't have to do that, but it's just fun. There is a system called Voice Attack, which will actually do voice recognition, so I do want to get that eventually. but I haven't been bothered, basically, to set all that up. It's a bit of work. 39 right there. Gear down. There is also a mode that we, in theory, could go into called FA off. So it's flight assist. It turns off the flight assist mode, and as the station is rotating, so are you. Or rather, your ship is not rotating. So the starport keeps rotating around you, and you have to do all the manual corrections to make it work. It gets pretty rough. I don't like doing it too much. Okay, so we're going to the bottom again. And we get here, reactive armor. We have 2,263 units of it left over. 2,288 credits. I don't think that has changed at all. 2288.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Anyway, we've got 2 more runs of this particular stuff before we then are able to, or unable to continue operating at this profit level, unless we just want to go to a different system, which is always fine.
Landing gear retracted.
Ship detach complete. Clear for egress.
Oscar Bravo, India to Tower, roger.
Hull integrity compromised.
Moderate traffic in this sector. Make way for larger vessels.
I am the larger vessel. Okay, so we're going to target Lushertha. We're going to go in and target the station itself, because this time I remembered. And then we go this way.
Frameshift drive charging.
What? Ugh. Oh, right. Because we've got the frameshift drive up. Oh well. So our frameshift drive produces a significant amount of heat, and because you're jumping between stars, and also so does our thrusters. So I just overheated our ship here. Oopsie. All right, we have not been here before.
System scan complete.
Cool.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
So, hauling is oftentimes
3, 2,
sometimes, well, no, just it's always very repetitive, but you find different things to do. In this particular case, we're jumping to completely different systems than we did on the way over. Because I put in a new frameshift drive, it gives us a different jump distance, and so it calculated a new, faster route. We already got Ross 614. All right, cool.
disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
All right. So now we only have to make 2 jumps to come back. That's really actually very good, because we don't have to sit in random systems and make 4 jumps. The amount of cargo that you're carrying will affect the mass of your ship, which therefore affects how far you can actually jump away from wherever system you're in. So we were doing jumps that were, I think it was 16 when we started, and now it's like 19. Nope, 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 nope. Pull up.
Fuel scooping.
There we go. The ship also steers a bit like a cow, mostly because it's just ridiculously heavy.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
So it will... There we go. Oh, good. Somebody's coming after us. 55? Yeah. That's right now. That was not just in the previous system. He's right behind me. Alright, so what we can do is try and get in at an angle. He's gonna catch me, it's fine. I need to get my HOTAS, like, buckled down, I think. Okay, he's not after me, so he might have actually been in the last system. And not this one. That's cool. You can usually tell by making some wonky maneuver. It's likely he just jumped in at the star, if he's here at all. These are NPCs. We're not going to get attacked by human players. If we wanted to get attacked by human players, that could also be an option, but not today. Okay, so this is actually around the backside of the star. And I need to, or star, about around the backside of the planet. So if we come in like this, ooh, perfect. We're gonna jump like straight in at the station. That is perfect. I don't think I've ever done that so much, any more perfectly. And of course it's off. Oscar Bravo India, request vector to tower.
Pleasure to have you at this federal station, Commander. Authorization cleared. Make your way to landing pad 3-2.
Righto. Thanks, Rogan. And again, thank you everybody for coming on in. And we'll talk to you later. Oh, right. Yes, I also do math. Never mind my actual like channel and stuff. So if anybody's interested in some math, we typically do math streams on Tuesday nights. And it's just basically homework help and or anything you want to know. So typically ask me anything about math, about teaching, about the concepts that you have, be they pedagogical or content related. So my original degree was in math education at the secondary level, and I've worked 15 years as an adjunct, and well, 18 years as an adjunct no, it was 15. As an adjunct professor, and also then as a full-time professor at a two-year college in Maryland. So, we have a list of other math people, known colloquially as the Math Chads. We have Don Does Math, Zach, who is at e to the 2i pi, Ian Stuckey, who's taking a bit of a hiatus for now, but we'll see them back fairly soon. Obi, that's me, at Nsimplex Pachinko, Danny Highway, and Dr. Gold at Actual Education. So, that was not what I wanted. But you know what? We'll take it. We will donate some money to the cause to help these particular groups improve their current status and also just get ourselves a little bit of standing. Yeah. So these corporations have, or that one corporation now likes us a little bit more because we gave them a bunch of money. Go figure. Right, we can sell our reactive armor for 13.73. Right, for a total profit of 11.969 million credits. Again, pretty good. So, yeah, and you notice at the bottom here the demand has reduced from 999,999 to 999,227, which is 772 tons less than it was, a few seconds ago. Even though we've made like 3 runs, it just resets automatically to 999,999 every time we do this. So, whereas some of the other ones, like these up here, or these down here, will likely reduce their demand numbers as they start getting people to sell those items here more and more. Those demand numbers will reduce, which also then brings down the sell price, if only slightly. Currently, the demand remaining at 1 million, essentially, is going to hold the sell price at, in this case for reactive armor, 17,792 credits per unit per ton for the entire event. So we have about 4 more days on that event. Okay, so then we're going to go back in Target, Karnoak, and go in and target Bacon City. And now when we launch, we're only going to be doing 2 jumps out, 2 jumps back. It's going to work very nicely. We also just got a... Right, Lushertha Silver General Industries has been raised to cordial. So they like me more because I gave them money.
Docking path extracted. Regulate speed until clear of exclusion zone.
Roger Tower, see you in 10. Good. All right. So the other thing that might have happened, which didn't, is that the target vector to the next station or to the next system could have been behind a planet. That sucks. Because oftentimes that'll happen, and it'll just be like, well, you have to activate your frame shift drive, get clear of the planet, and then jump. Okay, we gotta go around. No, go around. That sphere is the exclusion zone. If you jump into that, that's bad news. It's not like it's gonna do you damage or anything. Usually, potentially it could. All of those chat messages, by the way, are human players. So if for some reason it doesn't I guess 90% of them. It doesn't update as they're talking. So I don't understand what exactly is happening. But it'll update or when you get into the system it might, I guess it might update with recent chat from this particular system. I didn't think that was how it worked, but could be. Alright, so typically if you jump into the exclusion zone of a star, what's going to happen is you will be bombarded by solar radiation, your heat will increase significantly, and you also have to jump out using your frame shift drive, which produces a lot of heat. So, generally speaking, you have to, you'll see over on the left here, I have these things that say heatsink 1 of 2. It means we have 1 in the tank and 2 in reserve for each of those heatsink launchers. So it will activate the heatsink, pump coolant through the system, cause a cryogenic reaction, and then like pump all of the heat that's in the system into this little heatsink item, which then gets jettisoned off the ship. It's kind of cool just to watch the process happen. Hell, I'll pop one. There you go. Coolant purge initiated. You see the heat at the left side of the HUD goes to 1 or 0%. We get this nice little ice effect around the edge of the screen. Oh, there, around the edge of the cockpit, which is now melting, going away. And then the item gets jettisoned. If you're in frame shift like this, you're not going to see it. But if you're in normal space and you activate the heatsink launcher, then it will actually jettison it in space, and like somebody could run into it and hit it. It's kind of amusing to think about. Alright, now I can actually focus. So we're going down to Bacon City. Alright, this is on slightly lower than the planet here. And again, keep our ETA around 7 seconds. If you drop it to less than 7, typically what's going to happen is it'll drop to 6, which is fine. And then if it drops to 5, it'll usually, if you don't slow down immediately, drop to 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you'll zip right by whatever you're trying to actually fly at. But if you keep it at 7, it'll have a nice approach vector, and then we'll eventually get down here to 1.00 megameters, which is 1,000 kilometers. And we need to go up this side of our not quite dodecahedron. What is this? Oscar Bravo India to tower, requesting vector.
Landing permission granted. Proceed to landing pad 39er.
Drift into the zone. Nope, nope, nope. Well, that's embarrassing. We're not even loaded with cargo. What's my excuse? Alright, try to get the reticle on the approach vector. And then we come in, we gotta correct for the rotation of the ship, the station. Roger, tower. Landing 39.
Landing gear deployed.
Yeah, that happened last time too. So you get a pad loitering warning if you are hovering over the wrong pad. And that's even if you cross, like, it has basically a rectangular prism all around the entire thing. So if you cross into that zone in any way, shape, or form, it'll be like, you're loitering on this pad, get out of the way. And if you don't, they'll shoot you. And you notice here the restock price is 25 credits. That is how much each heatsink costs. It's somewhat ridiculous. Alright, purchase. 22.88. Yeah, it's the same price. Alright, reactive armor. Fill up.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
And launch back out.
Landing gear retracted.
Ship restraints retracted. Access corridor is clear.
Oscar Bravo India to tower. Thank you very much. Heading out. See you in 10. Right, I still need to target.
Observing steady traffic in this sector. Caution is advised.
Lushertha. System map.
Scan detected.
Target. Decamina. LHS 222. I think that's even different the last time we were doing this. So at the bottom right, you see this like signal thing going all crazy, and then above it the word hostile. So the current station that we're hovering around and or the system that we're going to are technically controlled by a rival faction. I have signed on recently to President Zachary Hudson's
Temperature critical.
it's his, the hell is it?
Fuel scope.
His faction to it's called Power Play. Yep, 100%. Oh no, that's not good. Nope, nope, nope. We're not zero throttling. Screw that. Alright, so this guy is after us in a Cobra Mark III. Oh, that's not good. We're trying to chase this vector here. Come on. Come on, baby. Let's go. Yep, there we go. Haha. Sucker. So pirates will try to interdict your ship. It's basically like messing up your in Star Trek terms, it's kind of like they're messing with your warp bubble, and they can pop it, and it'll knock you out of frame shift, and in which case you then enter normal space, and then they're like, hey, drop some cargo or else I'm going to kill you. You could do it, or you could just run away. I am more prone to just running away because my ships are pretty decent. This particular ship will not run very quickly, but you know what? Still does okay. It's actually much better for me to avoid it entirely than to try and run away once we're in normal space. Alright, so we're hopping back into Lushertha, where the community goal is occurring. Okay. Again, we try to do our best to get to 7 seconds ETA. And then hold. It's not always super easy because you have to like fine-tune the throttle. So our throttle, the X52 throttle, we can just pull and push to get it in the right section, but then there's also some fine-tuning knobs, which I have set for the one on my pointer, moves back and forth just to get the fine-tuning on throttle, and there's one on my thumb, which I can't remember exactly what that one does now. Alright, that's behind the planet. A little more throttle because we're coming into the gravity well of this planet. There we go. We're getting too close. Good enough.
Lakon, Oscar, Bravo, India. Submit a docking request and a landing pad will be reserved for you, Commander.
Oscar Bravo India requesting vector to land.
Okay, Commander. Proceed to landing pad 2-5.
Uh-oh.
Caution. Heavy traffic ahead.
There we go. We're alright. Landing pad 25 is where? Ahead. Cool. Generally speaking, if you have motion sickness, this is not the game for you. But you might be able to make some sort of accommodation for yourself. Don't play it in VR. Ah. Ooh. Alright, we have to go backward. There we go. Okay.
Contact. Deploying ground crew.
3,000 credits in damage. Ah. Alright, we are selling reactive armor again for roughly 12 million credits in profit. And then we're heading back. Oh, you know what? Look at the commodities. What if we bought here and sold at, right? I should have been doing this all along, but if we buy here and sell at Karnoak, Vacant City. Yeah, this is piddly. So we can bring in water at 520 credits per unit, and it's okay. Honestly, it's not super great, but whatever, it's fine. We can also pretend that this is going to help us in any way. Oh, Engineer's Workshop, real quick. What did I change out? Armor? Lightweight alloys. Hull boost and increased kinetic thermal explosive resistance. Might be alright. So it does not increase weight at all, which is going to be kind of important here. Alright, so this is a fun little engineering mini game that says, like, you know, as you're going to increase the properties of this stuff, then it's going to... Boo. Can't do an experimental effect. Can only be applied at engineer workshops, yeah. Right. This was pre-engineered, so we can't do specifically anything. Craft modules, engineer workshop to improve reputation, unlock this blueprint. Yeah, I can't do experimental. So it does some cool stuff. You need to have the particular materials that are over in this list in order to do anything. And then eventually, when you get up to a high enough level, right now, right, we've got all the negatives associated with this level of modification, which is level 4. Yeah, level 5 we can't do because we need classified scan fragments. But level 4, like, we still have this little bit left. It goes between a target scan angle of 76.41 and 78. If we spend divergent scan data, which we only have 3 of them, we could potentially improve it, but it's not going to be improved that much. And if I just do level 5, it'll automatically complete level 4 as well as start working on level 5 to get us our 90-degree scan angle. So we scan at all things within a 90-degree sector in front of us. Which is really good because normally there's a big difference between level 1 engineering is, or no engineering is a 40-degree scan angle. So we're about, like, give or take like that. And then level 1 engineering only gets a 42, so it's not very much improvement. Level 2 is 54, 66, 78, and then 90. So the more materials you spend, the better off you're going to be. Classified scan fragments come from settlement data point networks. So I could fly to some settlement somewhere and hack their system. They will not be happy with me for doing it, but that will potentially net me some of these classified scan fragments. And yeah, they usually start throwing things at you for doing that. Let's see. Optimal mass is 2106. Optimal mass is 1890. So with the clean drive that we have, that's actually better. Wait. No, that's dirty drive. Okay, show all. Nope. Damn. And power distributor. We've got a level 5 here, so we're not. It's not going to change anything. We took charge enhance powered. No, we didn't. Right. We took shielded power generator, which gave us a higher mass, but higher integrity and lower power draw. I think I would actually like a higher engines recharge rather than the other one. It also lowers our mass. So I think that would actually be better. The capacitors for all of our stuff is going to drop pretty significantly, but we've got plenty of materials to do this. So we just keep going until the next one unlocks, and we're stuck on level 2 because we don't have modified consumer firmware. Alright, reward for mission contracts can be salvaged from signal sources. So we're going to have to maybe poke around a little bit later and some of the signal sources and try to get some of those. Modified consumer firmware. We've still got all this other stuff. We need some chemical manipulators because we only have 3. Yeah, we're going to need a lot of them. Okay, anyway. Our power distributor also reset, so we're gonna give it a little extra power toward engine. If I pull down on my stick's POV hat, that equalizes all of them, and then I can push up to go to engines, I can push left to go to systems, which is like our shield, right to go to weapons, and usually I equalize and then go to engines because it gives us a little more, like I said, extra power, extra oomph. Did I really not? I did not. Am I taking another different path? Again? I'm not complaining, it's just... UGPS 0722-05. Okay. See, that's what I was afraid of would happen. So we can't do a jump directly out of the system. We have to get around the planet first. There it is. And then it takes basically no actual oh, right, because we're full up on water. We couldn't jump as far as we needed to on this one because we're full. I should really remember that. Alright, do we have this knowledge? I believe we do. Yep, nope, we're only at 16%. Cool. Jeez. Alright, so as we target all these planets, there we go. We scan all of their individual data, signals, and try to figure out what it is that we have in each of those locations. And then that information gets sold to the stellar cartography division of a particular corporation. So they're willing to pay a significant amount of money, especially if you're really far away from any particular discovery. Ooh, do we have a white dwarf? Oh, we do. Nice. So this is a white dwarf. This is... Or is it... Is it a white dwarf or is it a neutron? I don't actually know. Let's throttle down just a little bit. Actually, let's throttle it down all the way. Yeah, we gotta do this. Alright, let's take a look at it real quick. Oh, come on. Too close. Nonsense.
System scan complete.
Alright, so if we go over here like this, and tap back, there we go. Yeah, white dwarf. So in a white dwarf system, there's something we can do that's a little fun here. So we can do what's called a jet cone boost. Coming off of this white dwarf are 2 jet cones of particulate matter, which this might be too far away. I don't know if we can do it. Yep, there we go.
Drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
And if you look over at the fuel section at the bottom right corner, as soon as I get out of this turn, what you do is you see this big fuel bar with a tiny, tiny blue section in it. Yeah, you can see it. Good. That tiny blue section is the amount of fuel we're going to use on this next jump. When I went through the jet cone and it's at FSD supercharged, that meant that it was no longer going to use as much fuel. So it's using this supercharge, this extra stuff that's coming off of the star, the stellar material, as fuel. And white dwarf material is supercharged magnetically, so it allows you to jump further and or use less fuel on your current route. Since we only had 1 jump left, I didn't need to redo it. But if you've got like a long way to go still, oftentimes you can hit a white dwarf and get a jet cone boost, which will allow you to shortcut your route. So you have to go in and like manually say, I want you to recalculate that route. And it'll be like, alright, sure, you don't have to jump as many times.
Disengaged.
Here we go. Alright, if you give me 1 minute here. And we're back. Alright, flying around the backside of this planet, getting to Bacon City. 1,000 kilometers now. Alright, so we're much more like straight on in this particular case. Oscar Bravo India requesting docking.
Permission authorized. Assigned to landing pad 3-2.
Alright, so we're going to keep it around or slightly under 100 meters per second. And then apply correctional rotation.
Maintain current heading until further
Rotational correction. That's better. Alright, and then 32. Landing gear down.
Landing gear deployed.
And we need to change our
Landing complete. Systems offline.
we need to change our FSD, or not FSD, our computer voice, because we purchased one a while back. So every week you get a maximum of 400 ARCs, which are the internal game currency. And for something like 2,600 ARCs, you can change your cockpit voice. So a while back, we... Really? Oh, there we go. The vessel voice, the Kovas, is Verity by default. But we're not going to get Amelie. We also purchased Karina.
Greetings, Commander. This is Karina, your cockpit voice assistant, or COVAS. Install.
If you have noticed, Karina is played by Marina Serte, who was Counselor Deanna Troi on Star Trek The Next Generation. So, alright, we're going to sell our water. Should be up top. Please tell me we can sell. Okay. For 400,000 profit, it's really not much, but that's kind of the point here, is that, like, it's fine. Okay, ads are going. Cool, cool, cool. You didn't bother telling me this, Twitch. Alright, apologies for that, everybody. So we're not getting notifications at the 5-minute mark, which we're supposed to alert us to the fact that ads are coming, in which case I would have initiated a stretch break, told everybody to get water, you know, all that good stuff, and done a 3-minute ad at each of those locations, but yeah, I didn't get any alerts for it, so... Alright, we have purchased the rest of the reactive armor, and then we're going to also purchase non-lethal weapons. Hooray!
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
which in some jurisdictions are illegal. So that's fun. Right, then we're going to exit here. Go back to Lushertha. System map. And target Decamina. If we want, we can also disembark. Might as well show while we're here. Do something a little bit different. This is our hangar. Giant hangar for a giant ship. Yes, I really am that small. We can go to the concourse. And yes, it does have elevator music. And while we're here, we have some options. So one is that we can go and fight a war if we want.
I got nothing for you.
In this particular system, we don't actually have a war going on, so can't do anything. You can cash in bonds if you have done any warring.
I'm sure one of the factions will pick a fight.
You can go across to the shuttle over there and get a shuttle to anywhere else you want. You can pull up one of the terminals here and get missions and stuff like that. You can, if you have found any cool, interesting discoveries recently, sell some organic data. I have not done anything in the last few days anyway. You can also come over to Pioneer Supplies and get your
I've got the best stock in the system.
weapons and armor either upgraded or modified. So right now we have the Dominator, Maverick, and Artemis suits at level 1, which are available. That's pretty terrible. So I have all three, at least to grade 3.
None of these guns will let you down.
Alright, and here we have the Manticore Intimidator, which is a shotgun with a noise suppression system. At 7.5 million credits. I think we want that.
I wouldn't want to get too close to anyone packing an Intimidator.
Alright, we can also upgrade. We can take a look at the Intimidator that we just bought. That one. Alright, if you wanted to upgrade to grade 4, you need to meet these requirements. I do not have any more manufacturing instructions, so I need like 50 of them even for the next couple of days to fix stuff, but we can get weapon cosmetics and change colors and things like that. These are all going to cost us arcs, which you see at the bottom right corner. Right, so they look really cool, although we do have limited amount of arcs, and unless the paint job is going to be applied to every single gun, I don't want to spend 6,000 on a color for one gun, and then we could sell it potentially, but anyway. Oh, right. If you want to fill one of the engineer modification slots, you have to take this weapon to the engineer in question, and then hand in the appropriate number of materials, similar to the upgrades that I had there. Similar to upgrades, but it's a different set and it does different things. Yeah, and grade 4 also unlocks another modification slot. Grade 5 will unlock the last one. This is plasma, so it does roughly equal damage to shields and armor. And there's all sorts of cool stuff. Raiding party from Dawn Does Math. Good evening, Dawn. Welcome on in. Woo! Dawn was doing some math tonight. So, we did talk about all of our math chads. Dawn is one of our group who have committed themselves to doing math on Twitch and streaming for the benefit of as many people as possible.
Okay, let's take a look.
We were just checking out the different options for both suits and for weapons in Elite Dangerous. Yeah, we have a few more different options that are just automatically unlocked for the suits and armor. And again, you got this, yeah. You have down here this is 33 items that will all get the black back blast suit in teal if you want to spend 25,000 arcs, which is not for me. So hey Don, any particular awesome things for tonight?
Come back anytime.
Right, and Interastra sells you ships.
Whatever you need, we've got the ship for you. Dig all the gun you need.
Yeah, right. So if you want to purchase any particular ships, whatever is available at this particular starport, typically, yeah, they give you all the possible options. So the ones that we have already are the Mamba. Mine is, of course, named number 5. The Fer de Lance is one of the stronger combat ships. We've bought pretty much every single one of these. The Python is a nice one for... Yeah, well, thank you very much for the lurk/watch. I know the feeling. Python is like one of the most awesome multi... What do they call that? Multi-something. Ships that you can get. Multi-purpose, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. But one of the best multi-purpose ships. So DeLacy, generally speaking, is a good company for that. The Python is probably their best item. Beluga is a passenger ship, and pretty much only passenger ship. You're not going to get it for pretty much anything else. Like cargo hauling is maybe. And this is where we start getting into like the large size ships. They start at 82.5 million, 82.4, and go up from there. So Federal Corvette is like if you have a large, if you have a good standing with the Federal Navy, you can get a Corvette. They can allow 3 crew members, 3 other players to hop in and essentially man turrets or other stuff. There's also a fighter bay, so you can like have a fighter that will go out of the ship for you and go fight other ships if they're attacking you. Generally speaking, the Corvette is going to attack the big heavy ships on the battlefield, and it will send its fighter out, and then all of your friends are going to fly around in their like Mambas and Fer de Lances, taking people out. Adder is a small ship. These are not available at this particular location. It's okay, but generally speaking, you're not going to get this for a dogfight. That's like, yeah, sure, it can hold its own, but it's not a very good ship. It's all right. Imperial Eagle, if you have good standing with the Imperial Navy. It's also a small fighter type thing. The Eagle is something that I can knock out with my Python or Python Mark II in probably about 2 seconds of having all of my weapons coming to bear on it. So it's a very small ship. It's got to move if you want it to be any good. So many of the NPCs just fly directly at you and then like, break at the last second, and like they just get melted. Viper is a pretty good ship for all sorts of stuff. Cobra is pretty decent. It's got a very small profile. So if you have any of the Cobras and you use it properly, if you go face on to a ship, it's almost always going to miss you by like a lot. Viper Mark IV is good. Again, heavy combat. This one's going to target you with a whole bunch of either missiles or lasers and just try and take down again. But it is a small size ship, but it can hurt real bad. Even at a medium like my Python or Python Mark II. Type 6 transporter. This is a really small hauling ship. It's okay. Imperial Courier. Courier is very fast, so make it move and nobody will hit you. Keelback's another hauler. And also does pretty well at defending itself. Vulture is a very good combat ship, and a lot of times does like ECM type stuff, so electronic warfare on any ships that it's opposing. Again, this one's a small ship, but it really can do more damage than a medium ship. Type 7 transporter is another decent. This one's for a large size, but it's got like a small cargo bay, generally speaking. Alliance Chieftain is amazing for a lot of different things, but Brother Sabathius uses this as his Thargoid anti-Xeno ship. Federal Assault's pretty good. It's got a ridiculous number of hard points that you can attach. Imperial Clipper is, again, another one of those, like, fast get in, get out. Crusader is the Chieftain, but, like, heavy. Alliance Challenger has... Okay. So this is a heavy ship versus the Alliance Chieftain. Federal Gunship, again, lots more individual hard points, but it's gonna be slow. It also has a fighter bay. Crate Phantom moves pretty quick. Crate Mark II is typically heavier, I think. Emphasizes speed, maneuverability, and firepower over defensive capability. So this strips down the armor. Python Mark II is the one that we just bought a few streams ago. And this bad boy does like everything. I was actually going toe-to-toe with 2 or 3 ship wings at once. And like tanking like nobody's business. It kept its shields up, and then when it finally got its shields down, like it had so much armor that it just wasn't gonna lose the fight. Type 9 Heavy is my cargo ship, so this is the one that I use for hauling, which I'm using tonight. And I gotta plug in my headset. Yay! Where's the? There it is. So you can put a huge amount of cargo bays into the Type 9. Currently, my build is 772 units. In theory, I could fit another... You know what? I can actually fit another 16, I think. Type 10 Defender is going to use more hard points, greater speed, acceleration, maneuverability, and it doesn't have as many spaces for cargo. So if I hit equals, yeah. The utility mounts, nope, these mounts. So this would be, right, 128, 64, 32, 16, it's only an 8. So 8, I can get up to 780 on this build. So if we sum those up, I'm totally cheating here. That's fine. 128, 64, 32, 16, 8 and 8's another 16. You got 4, 4, 2, and then like 1 and 1 if we really wanted to. You could get a maximum of 268 on the Type 10, which is incompatible with what I'm trying to do right now. And the Anaconda, which is the like heavyweight fighter, you're gonna put a fighter on this. You're going to potentially have multiple people on your ship with you if you're going to do this. Although if you just go like by yourself, or if you purchase the services of a skilled fighter pilot, you can get, you can solo just about anything with an Anaconda. Small buzzy ships are going to be a problem unless you purchase a fighter and either man the fighter yourself, which is an option, or have a pilot, hire a pilot. And the Imperial Cutter's a pretty good one. Right, 7 hard points gets a pretty. If you put like a bunch of turrets in it, it's going to do pretty well there. And yeah, substantial cargo hold, combat profile, so decent one for traders. Here again, this is going to be a large, so you could fit another. Oh, you know what? That's an 8. Ooh, did I mess that up? Yeah, because it only had a 7 in there. Man. All right, 256 plus 128 plus 64, 32, 16, 16 is 32. 3 is another 8. 3 is another 8. 2 is a 4. And 1s. So in theory, if you stack this 100%, you could get it to 804. And with the Type 9, so you get 2 level 8 cargo racks. So those are the 2 that I have currently that are getting me just by themselves 512. Right, so I can right now get an extra 16 tons of cargo.
No need to rush. Come back when you're ready.
Right. You can find a bartender,
So how may I be of service today?
and you could trade out some of your chemicals, circuits, or tech that you find in the individual locations that you go steal things from. And you could say like, all right, I have a bunch of motors. I'd like to trade those for optical fibers instead. Or in this case, this is getting rid of optical fiber in order to get motors. But I don't actually want to do that. So I have enough of each of these reasonably well that I'm not going to want any, I don't think. But if you're trying to get something something specific, and you don't want to have to go out and find it in the field, you can come to a bartender and trade out. You can also just sell stuff, which will get you credits, which for me, again, is totally useless.
Will that be all?
But it's a quick way to get rid of extra stuff so that you don't have to do anything. And then you come over here and you can find people who are going to give you missions from, in this case, Mob of Carnoic. No, thank you.
Are you sure I can't persuade you to do it?
No. So this is called Elite Feat. When they release the update, we get Space Feet. which allowed us to have these like walkable on-foot systems and on-foot missions. They did a really good job overall. I was in as part of the alpha to like figure out some of the problems, and oh boy, were there problems. But we helped straighten it out, and I felt really good about it. You know, it was, we did purchase, you know, all of us non-elite partners or whatever ended up purchasing this release for, you know, a standard price of a video game, about $60. But it goes to help FDev, the Frontier Developments, to create a better game. And as of Odyssey coming out, I did not pay for this game. So like I ended up getting it on some free weekend, and then it was just like, you know, you get the game. I was like, all right, cool. So it was like several years where I just didn't pay for it. And I was like, you know what? I think I'll throw them a few bucks because they've done a really good job. Like I said, we got early access. We got to help figure out what the major issues were with the game itself in alpha. And it was just really cool overall. All right, so just as a reminder, what have we actually done here? We now have purchased all of the stuff. We can, in theory, get rid of our fuel scoop, because we don't actually need the fuel scoop at this exact moment. We can get a cargo rack for it. And store module. Alright. And then commodities market, also purchase more stuff. Reactive armor. Nice. Spend, right? Spend 36,000 for 16 extra.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
And I think, Dawn, your raiders were not here when I discussed this, but Karina, the voice of the COVAS, or Cockpit Voice Assistant, is Marina Sirte from Star Trek The Next Generation, and Mass Effect and various other projects, but... I know a bunch of people had also gotten a separate voice system, which I can't tell if it's just I can't tell if it's just AI generated or if it's like the actual actors, but it's got stuff like Brian Blessed. If you don't know who Brian Blessed is, definitely look that one up. He's an English actor who, generally speaking, is very loud. As a reminder, we have set this properly, yeah? Cool, yes. Oh, crap. We may have to redo this. Hurry, hurry, hurry. We're floating. There we go. All right, cool. Oscar Bravo India to tower. Getting clear. See you in 10. Nope, 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 nope. You jerk.
Taking damage.
Collision alert. Maintain a minimum clearance distance. Trespass alert. You do not have permission to be inside the docking bay. Exit the
It wasn't my fault. That guy hit me. Ugh. I'm at 87% hull. Yeah, this is one of the other things that I brought up earlier, but we're currently flying shieldless in order to have a better cargo haul. So it's slightly more dangerous because anytime you have a collision, you're losing hull integrity instead of just losing shield integrity and, you know, bouncing off the object. But yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Temperature critical.
Alright, pull up. We've already done this system, cool.
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, YZ Canis Minoris. So this is going into the little dog, those of you who know your constellations, Canis Minor. All of these stars are named from the perspective of Earth, of course, which at this point, if we're out in the middle of space, it really makes no difference what you call it, because it's not going to look like a dog in the sky. Just going to double check here, make sure that we've got this particular system, 100%, yep. Okay, and target Lushertha.
Frameshift drive charging.
So for anybody who isn't familiar, Elite Dangerous is, generally speaking, considered one of the first space sims. It was an actual, like, wireframe game in 1984. And it was made in Great Britain. I am now living in the country which generated this thing. And it was one of the first video games that was created in the UK. And they did a real good job with it, with the original. So much so that, like, it sold kind of unbelievable numbers of copies at the time. You know, everybody was into cabinets and Pac-Man and stuff like that. But when people in Britain started hearing about, like, oh, there's a games company in Britain, and they knew, if they knew anything about computers at all, they were like, well, I'm definitely purchasing that game. And then there was a bit of a hiatus that the original developers took off, and then Frontier Developments created this version of the game. I'm not sure exactly when, but it's also been quite a long time that this has been going on. And a lot of our streamer friends who play Elite Dangerous kind of have this, you know, general love for it. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain, but the developers of the game do a real good job, generally speaking, and try to get the try to listen to the customers and try to figure out, like, you know, how can we make this game better. So they'll listen to the streamers, they'll listen to random people on the forums and stuff like that. But, you know, Frontier, you do a decent job. Some people still complain no matter what. Coming up on 1,000 kilometers. Oscar Bravo India requesting vector to dock.
Access granted. Proceed to landing pad 09er.
Guess I'm not really requesting a vector to dock, but you know. Don't bounce. Don't bounce.
1,000 meters from touchdown.
There it is. Landing gear.
Landing gear deployed.
Ugh.
Landing sequence completed.
10,000. Man. Alright, so we're going to sell reactive armor for 17,792 for a profit of 900,000. And 730 units of non-lethal weapons for 10.2 million profit. Alright, and we're empty again. Let's check mission board. So, here we have the provide aid to Lushertha station, or the Kamina station. Here, I am now in the top 50% of contributors, with 3,876 units collected. Global contribution of 7.1 million units collected. That's tons of materials, by the way. So the only things at this point that we could really do to shorten this up and make it a little bit faster would be to find a source of materials which are closer. But like... I don't know that we're actually going to find like a decent source that is closer, like within one jump in both directions. Just don't think that's going to happen, but we can give it a shot. So the only other ones that are coming up as like reasonable, there are a bunch of ground sites which actually take a lot longer to get down to them, rather than to jump or fly to them in orbit and then jump in like we've been doing. You have to fly down to the ground site on the planet, and so it takes extra time to do that. Let's see. Atagat, Glasgow City, is one jump away at 15 light seconds from the star. So that actually might be better. We'll try it. Just for changing something up here. Atagat. There. We'll go into the system. And Glasgow City. Alright, let's give this a shot, because I don't think I've ever been here before. Also interesting that Earth Defense Fleet has a 0% influence in this system. Expansion. Faction's intention to spread into a nearby system in the near future. So, interesting. Usually you can only do that if your particular... Usually you can only do that if your particular faction has about 70% influence. So, yeah. Interesting. All right, so the fire group that I just updated here was to add heatsink launchers and a chaff. I don't need it, but it's useful to at least have those mapped so that if you do need them, you don't have to like go chasing it down. And just to make sure, right? We picked up? No, we didn't pick up anything. Cool. This is our this is our station to receive thing, or to drop off everything. So like, I don't need to necessarily do anything here, but let's just take a look at the market. Demand. High demand for stuff you can't get here. Cool. Mineral oil. Purchase at 600, sell at 1293. Okay, so that's more or less 700 per unit. Don't really want water. Right. Fish, 400 per unit. Wine, 300 per unit. Hey, there we go. All right, when I put it in the proper order, 0 hydrogen fuel, about 700 mineral oil, and about 500 to 600 water. Okay. Algae. No. Okay. Animal meat, about 400. Coffee, about 400. Fish, about 400. Food cartridges, none. Fruits and veggies, 800, 300. Grains, about 500. And tea, 400. Legal drugs. I don't actually know where this is on this list. Oh, beer, liquor, wine. It's above it for some reason, but on here it's below it. That's fine. Beer, about 400. Liquor, about 400. And wine, I already said was about 300. Okay, textiles, leather, and natural fabrics. Right. That appears not on this list. Nope. They don't want it. So it appears that mineral oil is about the best we can do. They want 700 of it. Or sorry, they want.
Maximum capacity.
We're going to be able to give them 788, and that's going to be roughly speaking at 700 credits apiece. So not a lot. we will jump over. Go to Atagat and see if we can't get a decent market presence set up there.
Docking coupler disengaged. Regulate speed until clear of exclusion zone.
Backwards. Okay. Nope. Up. Okay. I've been futzing around with this instead of actually paying attention. Cool, cool, cool. Had to get exactly backwards. 100% awesome. Alright, go like this. Push down. Use thrusters. We have to get something like 3 kilometers away from the station or something. Oh, no, never mind. Oops. Go like that. Really? I just messed it up. Alright, there goes the heatsink out the back. You can see it.
You have the all clear? Goodbye.
Alright, so we're 15 light seconds from the star, which is a tiny distance. Okay, 16.8. That's, of course, outside the exclusion zone. So, in theory, this should be a lot faster of a trip to get here, instead of having to go like 300 light seconds, or whatever we were doing last time. We'll see. Alright, max out. Once we get clear of the star, out of the gravity well, this will start picking up, and then we drop our throttle until we reach 7 seconds ETA. We'll fluctuate around a little bit. Alright, I need to scan the system. I have been here before. Alright. Okay, we've got the planet targeted for reconnaissance drones. Currently out of range. Targeted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should, in theory, be enough. We'll see how it goes. And we'll slow down just a little bit to make sure those actually hit.
Surface scanned by 50%.
80. Crap. That should do it. Alright, now we really gotta slow down. So this should clean up the last 6% that we need to scan the planet to 100%. There we go.
Surface scan complete.
Lava spouts. Nice. And just in time for us to jump in. The docking bay is on the exact opposite side. Oscar Bravo India to Tower, requesting docking.
Landing permission granted. Clear to land on pad 2-5.
Yeah. Guess we'll pull it down a little bit. That's fine. Okay, where are we? Up. The hell? Nope, nope. In. 2-5 all the way at the end. Gear down.
Landing gear deployed.
Mind your speed and your surroundings. Avoid costly collisions.
Boop. Almost 5,000 damage. Come on now. This is ridiculous. Alright, mission board. We need to do commodities, sell the mineral oil at 500 and almost 50,000 profit. Cool. And then purchase, we go all the way to the bottom, reactive armor for 2288, exactly the same as it was before. And also non-lethal weapons because our basic medicines are not here at all. Cool. Okay.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Let's just compare real quick here. So this was gonna sell at Sharon. Nope. Lushertha. Decommission station. 13,520. So I think that's a slightly higher profit. No, it was 14,000 at the other one. So slightly less profit, but it's not a big deal. Overall, that is a shorter jump, so that might technically be better. How are we doing on cartographics? We got about 3 million worth of exploratory data, and 2,500 from Codex Discovery. Okay, I don't actually know what that is. That might be geological? Can't actually tell. Anyway, hope everybody is having a good weekend. My Saturday was pretty decent. We went out with the family, or half of us went to a birthday party, and the other half stayed home and unpacked. We've got a long way to go for unpacking. My daughter was like, I really liked that game. I was like, great, now you can do it in real life. So, yeah, let's not. No. I hit a button. Okay, we're in Atigat. Make the jump to Lushertha. Lushertha and target Dickmina. Alright, cool. Whatever. This is fine. Ah, right. I'm surprised they didn't yell at me for hard points out, but I guess I don't have any.
Taking heat damage.
It's also at our... The station is at our rear, so that's not the best option, but it's not like it matters all that much. So how we all doing tonight? And for anybody who came in not from Don's channel, you probably know more or less what I do. But my name is Obi-Wan Pez. This is in Simplex Pachinko. We are part of the Elements here on Twitch. We do math, and we do variety gaming. The Elements crew is currently working on as a foursome. That is myself, Penn Center, Danny Highway, and Zach, who is at E to the 2I Pi, are doing Good Job. We've been trying to meet on Mondays, but this last couple of weeks we got kind of caught up with some other stuff. So, yeah, no, things happen. Life. So, didn't quite get that done, but we'll be back at it at some point soon. Most likely this Monday. We'll see how things go. And then others of us are doing all sorts of other activities, gaming. I know Dawn is big on DayZ. Penn Center and Danny Highway have both been up to playing some Zelda runs. Zach has also been, generally speaking, doing some Zelda runs, but at the moment has been taking a, I think it's a couple weeks to go relax a bit. Oscar Bravo India requesting docking.
Access granted. Proceed to landing pad 3-2.
It was very authentic pilot speak right there with the in the middle of it. So 3-2. All right, we're right there. Gear down.
Landing gear deployed.
Landing completed. Spark when ready.
All right, what do we get? Oops. Alright, sell. We get 2.4 million in profit and 8.5 million in profit. So we're still at 10.9, doing reasonably well. It's not quite as much as it was in the other one, but I think we're back in a faster amount of time, so balances out. Okay, we're up to 1.42-ish billion credits. Looking good. And our overall community goal is now still at the top 50%, 4,664 units collected. And we're just going to keep increasing that. I'm going to be doing this off stream too. I really want us to get to tier 1. By myself, I'm not going to make a significant contribution to that, but we need to get at least to 14 million before we're all going to be able to get any rewards for this. I will, at the very least, be able to get a duty counter paint job for the federal gunship. But that's only if I maintain, I guess. And then here, this is also going to be the exact same thing. If I were to actually receive anything, I'm not receiving much in the way of bounty credits for this, but if I go to there's a compromised navigational beacon that's around the star, and so if I go there and just like fight enemies, then I can pick up another 2.5 million credits just like I did last time within about a half hour, give or take. And then I need to come back, reload, repair any damage, which is usually not much, and then yep. We're gonna switch. Ah, come on. Ads! You didn't tell me that this was gonna happen. I'm really not happy with Twitch right now. Sir. "15 seconds. And we're back. Okay. So, this is the Python Mark II. She's a pretty nice ship. And when we go into outfitting to check, we're just going to run through this real quick. We got 2 Class 3 multi-cannons, which are basically just kinetic bullet launchers. They are more or less, individual miniguns. We have a fragment cannon, which blasts out really, really hot. It's not quite plasma, but I don't get the information on that. It's not nice. We have added drag munitions to them, which will disrupt engine exhaust flow on the target, temporarily preventing their engine power distribution from increasing thrust. So, like, they're stuck down at base level speed. A grade 3 or class 3 beam laser, which basically just melts their shields. It's currently at efficient weapon, and it has thermal shock, which strikes to shields and hull, impart additional heat onto the target. Heat is kind of an enemy of all of the systems on the ship. It will damage all of your systems. It will literally melt things. So it is really nice. All of these are gimbaled, which means that they are subject to chaff. If chaff goes off, they start going wild and trying to target everything. We have sturdy mount attached to the multi-cannons and have not found an experimental. Man. Oof. Ooh. My nose is not happy. Things are really blooming over here in the UK, so that's also not that surprising. All right, we have 2 burst lasers at class 2, which do a significant, smaller amount of damage, but also have long range weapon, which allows them to fire much farther. And they also have what's called scramble spectrum. It will potentially trigger random malfunctions on the target as long as it strikes the hull. So I have decided that we need this in our lives, very much so. So if the target tries to get away and starts trying to run, hull strikes could potentially disrupt their frameshift drive and cause them to not be able to fly anymore or not be able to escape. So that is my main goal with that. We need to figure out something good to do with multi-cannons because they have the experimental, or they don't have an experimental effect, but they could. Alright, so we'll go out and do a couple of murders. Alright, so we are trying to target as many pirates as possible. Alright, night vision on. Roger, tower. Alright, stick under 100. And we want to be slightly off to the right here. Ah. This is very reactive, unlike the Type 9, which has just, like I said, it steers like a cow. The Python Mark II steers much nicer. And we can get up to 512. Yep, 512 meters per second. Roger, tower. Compromised navigation beacon. Alright, so we're going to come out of science mode. Go into combat mode. Ah, goodness. And head for the compromised navigation beacon. Oh, right. And I can also hit the go fast button. This is ludicrous speed. Super Cruise overcharge. So that is the thing that I want to add to the Type 9. Which might be ridiculous. It burns fuel like nobody's business, but at the same time, you'll be able to cross a star system in a fraction of the time it used to take. Okay, come into 7 seconds. Whew. Alright, we're gonna go over to systems, weapons, and give one to engines, yep. they circling for? I don't think they know me. Gotta get to within 3.6. There it is. So what usually happens is we come over here, we target the navigation beacon, and then it gives us information about all sorts of stuff that's in the system.
Scan detected.
I'm really not carrying anything nice. You're going to be very disappointed. Jesus. Who's this? Challenger.
Scan detected.
Also wanted. Move along, sir. Federal agent says, wow, that was a waste of my time. Scanning somebody. Right. I'm going to keep this guy targeted because I think he's going to attack one of those Type 9s. Ooh. Come on, you know you want to. Do it. Do it. As an elite, this is slightly... Yeah, this is slightly dangerous for me because I've never actually fought a challenger. But why not? Ooh. %. He's already pretty wounded here. I'm still at 78% shields. Ooh, he almost bonked. Would have really ruined his day. Nice.
Under attack.
Ooh. I gotta get that. That was nasty.
Integrity compromised. Shields offline. Taking damage.
Wow. Okay. That worked out pretty nicely overall. Made him down 10% in armor, but whatever. It's alright. Chemical processors don't need it. Fine. Precipitated alloys. Focus crit. Man, these guys have nothing. Nothing good. Alright. What else? Ooh, focus crystals. Occupied escape pod. Always fun. Shield emitters. Precipitated alloys. Salvaged alloys. Ugh. Nothing good. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother. Who dat? Nah. Scrap. Not even good scrap. Viper Mach 4, Federal Logistics. I think they're clean. So we're just gonna scan them and get data. Classified, scan, databanks. That's what I like to see. I don't think that's what we needed earlier, but it's something. Imperial Clipper. Okay.
Scan detected.
Nothing good. You're gonna have to trust me. You're gonna have to trust me. Not doing anything. What am I doing?
Scan detected.
Nothing weird. Don't worry.
Under attack. Scan detected. Scan detected.
Yeah, I'm on target. Come on.
Under attack. Scan detected.
Whoa.
Taking damage. Shields offline.
Come on. Come on.
Scan detected. Hull breach attack. Taking
No, you
internal
don't.
damage. Under attack.
All right. Use the other laser. under his percentage. That's not good. Oh. Come on, there we go. There we go.
The integrity at 50%. Power integrity critical. Can't be compromised.
4%. Uh-oh.
Shield is low.
Oh. Well, didn't go as well as we wanted, but... bugging out at 500 meters per second, there's no way he's going to catch me, so... that's all good. Where are we going?
Cannot comply.
Alright, hard points.
Brakes should drive Charlie.
Oh well. Hey, PC lingo. No, it's just NPCs. But I mean, I've never actually gone toe-to-toe with something that could potentially like do me in quickly and then not. Mostly because I've never really had a good build. So the Python Mark II is kind of like easy mode. Like, you will have a potentially epic battle with an engineered Python Mark II, but at the same time, like, it was really hard to get down to 4% hull. Like, I was not really flying properly, I would say, either. No. That's pretty standard posturing for the NPCs. And I wasn't doing, like... I could have been more of a jerk about it. Alright, that's around the other side of the planet here. Alright, so we do have our shield out, which is good, because landing hard might take more than 4% of our hull. And to be clear, if I did actually crash and die on this, it would probably take me about 5 million to replace this ship, which is more than I would want to pay, but it wouldn't be that bad. Considering, again, I've got, like, ridiculous amount of money. Oscar Bravo India, request docking.
Lacey, Oscar, Bravo, India. Submit a docking request, and a landing pad will be reserved for you, Commander.
Did. Whoa.
Warning, you have not been granted access to the station.
Yeah, forgot about that. I was apparently still outside the exclusion zone.
Go for approach to pad 38.
I don't have the hull to play this game. Or that game. Oh. Alright, seriously. Docking pad 3-8 is in the back here. Yeah, all that spidering on the windshield. Another hit to the front of the ship, and it's likely that I would have lost the entire cockpit to the vacuum of space. In which case, the UI is completely gone. You don't see it anymore. It's kind of fun, but at the same time. And depending on what level, what grade of life support you have a certain number of minutes to make it back to a station before you just die. Alright, let's see what the damage is. Oh, that's not that bad. It's only 30,000. 3,400 in weapons that I have to restock. Alright, so I might as well, since we're here, administrative, and go to bounty vouchers. We have 707,000. So that's going to add to our previous total. And we're only going to have a slight higher number, but nonetheless, 3.2 million now. So, so yes, if you're just like kind of targeting the ship, it doesn't actually, like, shot placement doesn't technically count. So like it just does damage to the ship. In theory, it might actually do more than that, and I just don't know. But like I said, I don't know. And the other bit of it is that you can target a ship and then target its subgroups. So if you watch this, I'm going to hit my sub-target. And at the bottom left, it shifts through all of the different things that you can target on a specific ship. So if we go around this side, you can see the little red reticle moves around depending on what it is that I'm selecting. So we'll stop harassing this NPC. Ah. Oh my god, it's so responsive. It's ridiculous. Alright, we'll try this again. We'll take some lighter targets this time. Nope. Compromise navigation beacon. Right, yes. 100%. I do know the War Thunder bits. That's the other thing about the weapons that I have, is that the weapons that I have selected will similarly damage certain parts of the ship and do certain types of damage, that sort of stuff. So the large beam laser that I have will impart thermal damage. Nope, that's wrong. Yeah, no, that's right. It'll impart thermal damage specifically, and so it becomes harder and harder for the target to sustain combat because it's dealing itself internal damage, and all of its modules here end up losing their health as it goes through. Just the whole ship is basically melting from the inside, and like everything starts losing its health as it moves down. If you, let's see. If you target a specific thing, then it's going to gain heat faster than the other things. And so it will lose its health faster, but also because it's being hit directly. Then you've got I've got 2 turrets which are auto fire. As long as the target is hostile and has made an aggressive move toward me, then it will open fire automatically. I don't even have to be targeting it. Maybe I do have to be targeting it, but either way, if it makes an aggressive move, it gets auto fired upon. Who's that? Probably nobody, but clean. Okay. Type 6 transporter and an eagle, you say. I think I want them. This eagle is going to just be utterly destroyed in about 5 seconds. Power plant. And yeah, usually. There we go. 85,000 because that was an enemy. Hi. Guess who's next? Oh. Ooh. Raunch. And you can see my who's it? Yeah, my shields have not suffered almost anything, so it's fine. Boop. Chemical storage units. Ooh, I need those.
Cargo scoop deployed.
So these materials help craft better ships as we go through the game. And I don't have the right vector for this. Boo. A tractor beam is what we need. Got it. Ooh. Hi. Federal assault ship. Alright, cool, cool, cool. Conductive components. I like it. How far is that? Oh, you jerk. Got it. What else we got? Heat dispersion plate. That's fine. Basic conductors is alright. And we can't find anything else there. Right here. Mechanical equipment. Yeah. Grain. Canister. Okay. Who dat? Viper 4.
Frame shift charge detected.
Boo. Cowards. Alright, what else we got? These are all high energy wakes, so these are people who are leaving the system. And you know what? Let's go get that one. We have to be under 40 meters per second when we actually touch this thing, otherwise we damage it or potentially destroy it. Oops. Oh. It's at 36% health, so one wrong move and it will break. 34. They count down as it progresses, so I don't want it to be there indefinitely. Okay, and then this one. What's this? Oh, conductive ceramics. Need that. Got it. Yeah, I also cannot target the pilots by themselves. It's very sad. Okay, and then we bring in the cargo scoop and boost back. Okay, Sidewinder. Oh, really? Okay, they're clean. That's too bad. Sidewinder. Oh, this is the noob ship. Sidewinder. So yeah, if you spot somebody in a Sidewinder, it's kind of just a joke, because that means they're either very new or they've got a really big plan, but most likely they're not going to hurt you. No, you're clean. You're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. What the hell?
Scan detected.
They're in like this crazy big formation. Eagle.
Scan detected.
3 of 3. Okay. What troops do you carry?
Target shields offline.
And there it is.
Target destroyed.
Salvaged alloys, crystal shards, nah. It's an eagle. There's not gonna be anything useful in here. No. How about this guy? Is he now down to 2 friends? Yep. That's him. That's his buddy. Same guy that I was just fighting. What do we got? 1.1.
Scan detected.
There it is.
Scan detected.
Salvaged alloys, warn emitters. Nothing interesting. As usual. But it is worth. What you got? You're alone. Ooh, bad move, bud. Bam!
Scan detected.
You gonna help your buddy or what? Like, cause he's toast. Whee. Ouch.
Breach attack. Taking internal damage. Taking damage. Scan detected. Launching malfunction.
Aw. Man, this guy might actually hurt. Aw. Boo. Alright. No repair. Boo. 0 health. Yeah, because he targeted him. Oop. Frame shift wake scanner also, but I wasn't gonna bother with that anyway. Alright, let's look at this. So first of all, we're gonna set the wake scanner to like the lowest priority. Sensors to 2. Beam burst, fragment cannon. Those all stay at 1. Shield generator and thrusters are 1. ECM, chaff launcher, that's all 1. Fuel scoop can drop to 3, that's fine. Life support at 3. Frame shift drive at 1. Vehicle hanger to 5. Power distributor 2. And I keep forgetting about the shield booster. I have that too. Oh well. Man, that guy really did some damage on the Alright, we are like kilometers away now, so. Oh well. Yeah. I never really claimed to be good at dogfighting. It's just, you know. Ah well. Alright, as we get going out here, probably gonna wrap up. What time is it? Yeah, it's like 2:30. Cool. Want to thank everybody for coming, and thank you Dawn Does Math and Rogan27 for coming in for raids. Yeah, you could definitely shoot missiles. You have to be within a few kilometers, like 1 to 2. Any further than that, and either they are going to have a anti-missile weapon, and so there's PDC. Yeah, it's a countermeasure. God, I don't remember the name of it. That's terrible. It's a countermeasure system which launches like small caliber bullets, and basically it's just like a minigun that fires out tiny little bullets that'll riddle the missile with bullet holes and lead that is supposed to like disrupt its internal electronics and eventually cause it to explode. You can see PDCs in action in The Expanse. So they do a really good job in that show. Requesting docking. Repeat request for docking.
Okay, Commander. Proceed to landing pad 38.
All the way in the back. Gear down.
Landing gear deploy.
Yeah, the original show was really good. 22,000 again. Sheesh.
Ground crew have been dispatched.
So, I mean, it's multiple seasons, so like, I didn't do anything, did I? Because I just targeted that one guy and then just got my ass kicked. It's not even that person that I need to contact. It's the administrative contact. Oh no, I got one. Okay. Oh, I got all the eagles. Right. So again, looking at community goals, we have now... Hey, we moved to top 75% and put our contribution to 3.6 million. So, I hope everybody has a good weekend. We're gonna raid over to... We're gonna find somebody before ads start. We got... Who are we following? We got Rainman Games, who is doing Elite as well, however, has been up for 6 hours. So, we may let him go to bed. Let's see, Levon is on and doing Star Citizen. Buana is on doing Linux migration. Ocarina of Time. Science and Tech. Let's go check out Levon. This is Levon G Fan, and he's doing Star Citizen. Star Citizen is a bit of a different game than Elite Dangerous. However, I think it's got some interesting differences and similarities, and each have their own strengths and weaknesses. Not going to say like one's better than the other, but it's just slightly different and really cool. So, hope you all have a good weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday for... yeah, there is flying. See you on Tuesday for more math stuff, possibly earlier. We'll see how the week goes. And thanks for coming. This is Obi-Wan Pez for N Simplex Pachinko. Have a good night.